gonna make it today. I was thinking, how am I gonna, I sometimes tell people I play a doctor on the internet. I'm not a real doctor, but Scott, good morning.
Good morning.
It is great to see you this morning. How are things?
Did you see me yet?
Hey, there we go. All right. Okay. We have video.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah. Great.
Good deal. All right. Well, hey, welcome everybody. Looks like we have some people that are joining in here, a good amount. So good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to get started here pretty soon. I'll give you a few housekeeping notes. So this call is for anybody that's interested in learning how to reverse type 2 diabetes using natural remedies. And the remedies that we teach in the Diabetes Solution Kit at diabetesreversed.com and other places. You can get one of these at bartonpublishing.com as well. This is the 3-phase program that we've been teaching for over 10 years now. We've had thousands and thousands of people that have used this program to successfully eliminate blood sugar problems and experience all sort of great results. This is a program that Dr. Saunders uses with his own patients, and we sell this online for the ebook version is just $19.97, and you can get a printed copy for another an extra $20 printed and then shipping to your house. So today's topic, and also a little more housekeeping. So we have a YouTube channel. It's called Barton Publishing Webinars. You can watch all of our previous webinars on that channel. If you go to YouTube, just search Barton Publishing Webinars and then click on our videos and then subscribe to our channel, and you'll get notified anytime that we post a new one. We do these every week, usually on Tuesdays. Last week we just did it live from Utah on our team retreat on Thursday, and that was really fun. I had a really good time with everybody that from the team that was there and made it happen. We were all sitting on the floor with a whole bunch of pillows and shag carpet. Kind of felt like we were hippies a little bit. So that was fun. We've touched on this topic that we're going to talk about today a little bit before, but we're going to dive deep today. And this is Dr. Saunders' most recent information that he's been studying and teaching that, I don't know if you have a name for it yet or not, Dr. Saunders, but I've been calling it the 610 protocol.
That's a good one. Yeah, I call it an anabolic.
Anabolic, yeah. So this is, has to do with our circadian rhythm, anabolic versus catabolic. And it's fascinating, and it's basically a way to experience just like really prime health and anti-aging, like fountain of youth. And so our team has just been learning about this recently. Dr. Saunders gave a presentation to us in Utah while we were together, and we've been implementing it ourselves and experiencing that in different ways short term here already. And so a lot of good stuff coming out from that, and we'll talk more about our plans with that as well later in the webinar today. But Dr. Saunders, if you want to just kind of give an overview of what this is, and real quick, let's see, Leslie, I'm going to email you a copy of the whiteboard picture unless you already have it, but I was thinking we could pop that up on the share the screen for everyone to see, kind of the whiteboard or the chalkboard that Dr. Saunders showed to us. So let me know if you need that. But go ahead, Scott, and kind of tell us. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people have heard about circadian rhythm, and a lot of people have heard about metabolism, and a lot of people know about catabolic metabolism and anabolic metabolism. And a lot of people know about sleep, and other people know about eating and fasting, but and all the information is out there. The research has been done. The problem that I see is that nobody has put together all this research to make it easily accessible to everyone to really make a difference in your health. So if you look at what effect different things have on your health. So for example, drugs have about a 3 to 12% effect on your health. In other words, they may make a difference one way or the other, 3 to 12%, really not a lot. And we put a lot of stock in drugs and pay a lot of money for drugs. Supplements in people who are deficient have actually much more, have like 20% effect on health. Exercise is even better, like 30 or 40%. And food, the food you eat, you know, you are what you eat. And that's so true. 50 to 60% of your health is dependent on your food. And then genetics makes up a big portion, but then there's epigenetics. But above, way above all those effects on your health is stress. And so we talk about stress. Oh, I'm so stressed. I have too much to do and not enough time to do it. And I never get to sleep at night. And I have so much to do. And this guy's making me stressed, and that one, and my work is stressful. But what do we talk about how to handle stress? What do you do for it? What do you do differently in your life when you have stress to try and not be stressed? So we talk about things like, oh, go do some yoga or go do some exercise. What I want to tell you is the foundation of stress reduction. What is the bottommost rung of the ladder of making sure that you can handle stress? Now, this isn't about relieving stress. This is about managing and handling stress. So what you can do about stress is found in your circadian rhythm. And this research has been done. It's been done around the world. It's been done in different populations. And the way to do that is to try and have an anabolic metabolism as much as possible. Now, most people don't understand that either your metabolism is catabolic, where you're breaking down your body, and it's literally breaking down, it's wearing out, you're doing things. Just typing on your computer, you're wearing out your tendons. Just lifting something up, you're actually tearing muscle fibers. Walking down the street, you're making little microfractures in your bones. All of this is going on constantly while you're awake and alert and active. And you don't think about it, but when you're thinking, you're making oxygen-free radicals in your brain. You're actually tearing down your brain or wearing out your brain while you're awake and thinking and doing stuff and just being awake. The light actually does damage to your eyes. And all of this is going on all the time. It's just like driving a car. It's no different than driving a car. You can be so nice to your car. You can be so gentle and drive very carefully and drive under the speed limit and go slow. But you know what? Every mile you put on that car, you're wearing it out. I don't care how good you are with your car. You're wearing it out. And if you keep going, it's going to wear out. Well, your body's the same way.
Hey, can I just say, like,
yeah,
if your car sits in the garage too long, it wears out too.
No, you know what? That's true too. Just yeah, so just sitting around and watching TV, you can wear out too. So the most people don't know that you can either be catabolic or you can be anabolic. So if you look on the right side of your screen, it says anabolic, and the anabolic part is completely the opposite. It's totally different. So while the catabolic side on the left is you're awake, it's light outside, you're eating, you're active, all of that stuff is creating oxygen-free radicals and wearing out your body. Whereas on the right side, the anabolic is exactly the opposite. It's dark, you're asleep, you're resting, you're fasting. You don't have cortisol. Cortisol actually goes down to zero. Your stress hormones go down to practically zero. And you release a different hormone called human growth hormone and melatonin. And these hormones help rebuild your body and repair everything. So all of the damage that we do all the time is repaired at night, but only if we're not catabolic. Well, then how do you prevent being catabolic? Well, stress is a big factor all by itself, because if you release cortisol, then you're going to be more catabolic. So decreasing stress at night before you go to bed is a good idea. So you do things that relax you at night or allow you to relax. And then during the day, you're eating. During the night, you're fasting. And it is so important that you go to bed with an empty stomach. That is like the single most important principle. There's really only two things that are important, and that's why Joe calls it the 10-6 program. Because the important thing is no food after 6 is a good rule. And it is not the rule. It's sort of a side rule. The rule is go to bed with an empty stomach at 10 o'clock at night. Why 10 o'clock? Because that's the time you get deep sleep. That's the time when you're in the stage 3, stage 4 sleep, and your brain is shut off, your body's shut off, and that's when you start repairing. It's just like a car. You don't go repair your car and keep the engine running and start taking the spark plugs out. That would be ridiculous. Well, people think they're going to repair their body while they're running around. That's not the way it works. The way it actually works is you have to be in anabolic mode. So weightlifters know about anabolic mode, and they try to take anabolic hormones. They'll inject themselves with steroids like testosterone or equivalents to try and increase their anabolic mode. And I had a CrossFit coach. My coach came to me and said, "Why can't I get rid of this belly?" And I said, "Well, you're catabolic too much." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Well, are you eating at night?" He says, "Oh, well, yeah, I work out. I do my big workout in the evening. And then I have this big shake, protein shake. It's got everything I need in it to build my muscles." I said, "Well, there's your problem right there. You're going to bed in catabolic mode. You're breaking down mode still because you just ate something. You've got to do your workout and then relax for a little while, then go to bed at 10 with an empty stomach, and then you'll make human growth hormone at night, which is so much more important for building muscle than what you eat. And then in the morning, you have your big protein shake, and that will actually build your muscle better." And you know what? That worked for him. So the 10-6 program is no food after 6. And what that does is empties the stomach. And when you have an empty stomach, you produce ghrelin. Ghrelin is growth hormone releasing hormone, and that actually suppresses your adrenal hormones. So you can suppress those, stress hormones by not eating. So when your stomach's empty, you make less of the cortisol. When you eat, you make more of the adrenal hormones, like adrenaline and epinephrine, cortisol, those. So then you go to bed by 10, and you get those 4 hours of deep sleep because your big spike of HGH, human growth hormone, happens between that 10 and 2 during the deep sleep. And so if you go to bed late, you often miss that entirely. So that's an overview of the program. Joe, did I make it clear? Is that there any questions?
Yeah, that's really good. And I apologize for the quality of the picture on the screen here. We were actually writing on the wall. It's like a chalkboard on the wall in the basement, so the lighting wasn't great. But
yeah, I was running my fingernails up and down it, and everybody said,
yeah, circadian rhythm, metabolism, and so catabolic or anabolic are the two different types of metabolism, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's interesting. If you look from one side to the other, you go, well, catabolic, it's light outside, and anabolic, it's dark. Well, it's not light and dark at the same time. You're not asleep and awake at the same time. You're either catabolic or anabolic. And if you're awake, you're catabolic. If you're stressed, you're catabolic. If you're eating, you're catabolic. If it's light out, you're catabolic. And so that prevents you from becoming anabolic.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have a question from Patrick. Thanks for asking this, Patrick. Is there any preferred beneficial drink to have just before going to bed?
Okay. Thank you for asking that, Patrick, because this is really, really important. And that is the rule. The rule is not no food after 6. The rule is go to bed at 10 o'clock with an empty stomach. And if you drink something before you go to bed, then you don't have an empty stomach. You don't make ghrelin, which is growth hormone releasing hormone. Then you don't spike your growth hormone, and you don't repair anything. So, so even water, you have to be even careful with water. Now, that's the caveat, but let me explain in more detail. If you eat a half a pizza and drink a pint of beer, that's going to take between 8 and 10 hours to empty out of your stomach. Now so you better be done by noon if you're going to eat that much. But if you ate a small green salad with vinegar dressing on it, because the dressing is really important, then it's going to take maybe 2 or 3 hours to empty out. So you can eat at 7. So why do we say 6 o'clock? Well, because the average meal that people eat is going to take about 4 to 5 hours to empty. So if you're done by 6, then you're pretty sure you're going to have an empty stomach when you go to bed at 10. That's the idea. So the key is empty stomach when you go to bed, no matter what that looks like.
So if you have an empty stomach, and so there's a drink that we have been trying that's from BioTrust. It's got magnesium and I think L-theanine in it. If you've got an empty stomach and you have this drink, say an hour before bedtime, is that enough time for a liquid to go through the stomach? Like, does that happen pretty fast?
Generally, yes, that happens pretty fast. So people that drink water at 9 o'clock at night, that's not going to be a big deal. And mostly the drink, if it doesn't have flavor in it, so you're not releasing insulin, if it's like a drink that doesn't have flavor or sugar or sweet taste or calories in it for that matter, then it would generally be okay. So something like the magnesium drinks like Calm and the one you were talking about with BioTrust. Those I don't know. They empty out of the stomach pretty quickly, but you don't want to induce especially sweet things or sugar things that start up your motor. So it might be better. Yeah, more than an hour before bed. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe test it and find out. And here's the Ghrelin. You're releasing Ghrelin when you have hunger, because it's the hunger hormone. It's the one that says I'm hungry. Or your stomach's growling. That's from Ghrelin too. So that's funny, huh? Ghrelin, your stomach's growling.
Yeah.
And so if you're hungry when you go to bed, then that's a good sign that you're probably releasing Ghrelin and you're probably going to make human growth hormone and repair your body.
Because you said Ghrelin is actually Ghrelin, which stands for growth hormone release something.
Yeah, because it's growth hormone releasing hormone. That's exactly what it is. That's how it got its name.
Yeah.
And so you want more Ghrelin. So what's really cool about this is if somebody has been really stressed for a long period of time and they haven't been able to sleep and they're eating junk food because they're just, can't make food and they get cravings and they've been doing that for years and they've kind of broken down their body, then you can use this basis of your stress reduction program for long-term by doing a long-term fast. And because while you're fasting, you're releasing Ghrelin, which repairs a lot of things. I mean, we think of it as growth hormone releasing hormone, but it's a hormone that does tons of things. It helps your brain. It makes you more sensitive to leptin and insulin. It makes you more sensitive to endorphins, so your pain goes away. It's really a remarkable and important hormone, and you only get it with an empty stomach. So if you do a long-term fast, then you get more benefits. So a lot of people will eat one meal a day. They'll just eat breakfast in the morning or breakfast, mid-morning, and that's all through the whole day, so that they have plenty of Ghrelin all day long and all night, so that they're doing a long process of repair. I've also had I had somebody with heart disease. He was told he had to have surgery and he's like, I don't want to do that. I've heard about fasting. Can I do that? And I'm like, sure. So He did 30 days with water only. He actually had a lot of weight, so he could do that. And now he's more active. He's able to function better, and he's doing a lot better. So you can use this as your daily kind of, I'm just not going to eat after 6, or if you want to repair over a long period of time, more repair, then you do the long-term fast, however that looks, whether it's like 1 meal a day or just drinking bone broth. I've had people do long-term bone broth cleanses where they just drink bone broth in the morning and noon or early afternoon, and that's all. Then I had, people do water fasts for 30 days. So it depends on what your tolerance is and what you're good at and how you handle it.
Yeah. So with the 610 program, the anabolic, like in the Ghrelin production, so it's a good sign, a good signal to have those kind of hunger pangs at night, like before you go to bed. Like that means, okay, we're kicked in, we're good to go, time to go to bed. And a lot of times, like I think, like I've been notorious for eating at night. So since doing more of this, it's like, there's really only like 1 hard hour a day to do this, because if you eat your last meal at 5 or 6 and you're going to be full for, those 3 hours or whatever, but then it's that last hour before bed that you start to get hungry and maybe some old habits come in, and it's like, I could just go eat something right now. But it's really just that one last hour that you just have to say, nope, not going to do it. I'm going to sacrifice that, short-term pleasure for long-term repair and growth and reset. So, yeah.
Yeah. You know what, though? Just if it makes anybody feel better, I have done everything I've recommended for my patients. I have done long-term fasting. I've done bone broth cleanses. I've done gluten-free diets, dairy-free diets, sugar-free diets. I've done all of these things. And the hardest thing I've ever done is no food after 6. I swear it's the hardest.
It is. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's the best results, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's really good. So you know what? What's really interesting about this is people who fast during Ramadan. The Muslims have a time during the September. It's called Ramadan, and what they do is fast from sun up to sundown every day for 30 days. So they're doing that intermittent fasting 30 days in a row. And so you'd expect, wow, intermittent fasting, that's so good for you, right? But what happens is they gain weight during Ramadan on average. They actually gain weight. And so the research was done on why. And the reason is because after sundown, they can start eating, and they do. So they eat at night. Now, if they were celebrating Ramadan and eating in the morning and not at night, then they would probably do really well and lose weight and feel better and become anabolic during the whole 30 days. But it's kind of hard to get up in the morning before sunup and eat breakfast while it's still dark outside. It's a little more difficult, I guess. So, and it would be for me too. I mean, that it would be so much easier to wait till the sun goes down and then go get a meal. But it's not actually good for you.
Yep. So those Taco Bell commercials, open late, 2 a.m., like, just say no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So talk about like, empty stomach, but what about what you can eat during, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.? What kind of foods? Like, how much does that make a difference? Like, if you're eating crappy food versus nutritional food or somewhere in between, like, how much does that matter?
Well, gosh, I hate to say this, but you can eat hamburgers and French fries and pizza and drink Cokes and beer. And it's like, whenever they do research on this, if you stop eating by 6 o'clock, if you go to bed on an empty stomach, if you go to bed early on an empty stomach, like 10 o'clock, you get better no matter what you're eating. But of course, you got to eat good food. You got to get nutrition. You got to have, proper nutrition and everything. But one of the things that the program does is cleanse and detox. And so at night while you're asleep, you're not just repairing the damage that you did, you're cleansing out all of the stuff that the oxygen-free radicals have made. And you're cleaning out all the tau proteins out of your brain and all the cholesterol out of your arteries. So if you eat crap during the day, then of course you probably won't have good nutrition. And for other reasons, it's not a good idea. But as far as this program goes, it's like the most important thing is going to bed by 10 o'clock with an empty stomach, and everything else is secondary. What you eat is secondary. There's other reasons. You get good bowel function if you have a high fiber diet, and that's kind of important.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, I've been testing this, and so since Saturday, since we got back, the first 2 days I was a good boy. I went to bed at between 10 and 10:30 on an empty stomach. And those first 2 days, I think I lost 3 pounds because my weight had kind of been going up over time. I had been not doing great. And I don't have diabetes or anything, but I still want to, use anybody, whether you have diabetes or pre-diabetes or not, this is just really good health information and good for everybody. But so those first 2 days I did great. I lost 3 pounds. But last night, in the name of research, I had Arby's for lunch. I had a Coke. I'm like, I'm gonna test this, and I made burritos for supper with some nice chorizo and some cheese and all that good stuff. And I had a beer, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. But here's the thing: if you have a beer, it's more likely you're gonna eat after 6 o'clock, which I did. I didn't stop eating until 7 o'clock. And I'm just being fully transparent here, Dr. Saunders, because I think other people will appreciate this. But this is the human condition. And I stayed up till 10:45 watching some stupid Netflix show that I got hooked into. So, and that kind of put me back in the wrong direction. I woke up this morning, I was 1.2 pounds heavier than I was yesterday morning. So I learned my lesson. I will not do that anymore. But like I said, for the sake of research, I took one for the team.
Joe, don't blame it on research. You're going to do it again. And here's the cool thing. Okay, so I'm going to add. I'm going to keep adding things as we talk. So the reality is that if you're doing this program, Dr. Sachin Panda, who does research on this, Circadian Rhythm, and he has videos and stuff, and he looked at it and said, what if you take days off? What if you do this like 5 days a week, but you take 2 days a week off and party on the weekends? And so they did it on rats, where they did 6 or 5 days on no food after 6 diet, and then 2 days off a week. And you know what? They did just as well as the rats who were on it 7 days a week. So you can take days off. It's not like you're stuck. Like you can never party. I can never go out. I can't go out at night with my friends. Well, you know what? When we were in Utah, I'm still in Utah, by the way, on my way home. But when we were all together in Utah and we were going out to eat, or people coming over making food for us, and we didn't eat till 8 o'clock, it's okay. It still works. You can take days off, you can party, you can have fun with your friends. And then
Uh-oh. Did we lose audio, or is that just me? Hello, Dr. Saunders, I can't hear you. Oh, there we go. Maybe?
what?
Oh, there we go. Okay. I lost audio for a second, but we're good.
Oh, okay. We're good. So that's the cool thing, is it still works even when you take days off, as long as it's not all the days off.
Right. Yeah. And you talked about like the 80-20 rule, kind of 80% adherence, which is nice because to try to do something perfectly is pretty much impossible. There's only one perfect person that ever walked this earth, and it wasn't any of us.
Exactly.
So, well, that's good. So we had some questions come in. Someone was asking, what is the diabetes solution kit? Where can I get it? If you go to bartonwebinar.com, Ernie, thanks for the question. We have our links on bartonwebinar.com. You can register for the webinar there, but then on the bottom, there's links to the diabetes solution kit for purchase. Also the supplements that we have, which are, I've got right here, Nervala and Synachroma are top selling ones for blood sugar issues. We also have healthy gut support for digestion, probiotics, digestive enzymes, and prebiotics. And so, yeah, just go to bartonwebinar.com, anybody that's looking for links to these. So, yeah. We had another question come in from Ernie. Okay, Ernie asks, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Ernie. It's spelled different, which is, I like it, it's cool. What is your best suggested weight reducing regime? Intermittent fasting. Hi, Karen. Hi. Oh, we can't hear you again. The audio is off. Are we back on? So what is your best suggested weight reducing regime? Intermittent fasting, keto diet, or nutritarian diet?
Okay, I lost audio there for a second.
Okay, we got you back.
Okay, so the question is, what is the best weight loss regime?
Yes.
What I think, if you were to do this kind of a program and put it with the Barton Publishing diabetes reversal program, man, you would lose weight so well. Because if you're doing essentially a ketogenic diet to start, and then allow not so that you can burn fat, because you're training, that's all the ketogenic diet is. You're training your body to burn fat instead of sugar. And we're so used to burning sugar all the time because we eat all the time, eat carbs all the time, that you need a chance to burn fat. So number one, you're doing the diabetes reversal program. And then number two, you're not eating after 6, as a rule, not eating after 6 and going to bed by 10. Then you would repair all of your hormone imbalances. And what I first started with was stress reduction. How your when you're not eating, when your stomach's empty, you suppress the stress hormones. When you're eating, you create more stress hormones. So I think that would be the best weight loss program you could ever do.
Yeah. So, okay. So I wanted to share a little bit more, some ideas that came out of Utah related to what we're talking about here. We are putting together a pilot study. It's going to be kind of informal, but it's going to be, we're going to try to get 100 people to join us and basically do this form of the anabolic reset, the 610, the empty stomach by 10 o'clock program. We want to get 100 people to join us. Our team is going to be doing it. And so if you're interested in doing that for 30 days, it's a 30-day challenge. It's 30 days of going to bed by 10 o'clock on an empty stomach with a few variations. Please send best way to do it is probably to send Leslie an email. Leslie, you want to confirm that? Is that probably the best way to do it? If you want to hop on, Leslie, audio. Okay. So, so here's what we're going to do. 30-day challenge. There's going to be, we're going to make it fun. We're going to have a bit of a contest, and we're going to give 4 different options for how to do this. So 1/4 of the group will eat whatever they want, no holds barred. no calorie restrictions, no carb restrictions, but just make sure you have an empty stomach by 10 o'clock and go to sleep then. Group 2 is going to take a Synachroma supplement every morning with their breakfast, and also eat whatever they want. Group 3 is going to eat under 100 grams of carbohydrates each day and go to bed with an empty stomach at 10 o'clock. And then group 4 is going to take a Synachroma in the morning and also eat under 100 grams of carbs. And Dr. Saunders, if 100 is too much, let me know. Maybe we should make it 50. But we're ironing that out. So
yeah, if 100, you could live on 100 and not be ketogenic. So and if you really want to test it, do the 20.
Yeah. So maybe we will have a calorie restricted, because what we want to do is like track. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, not calorie restricted. It's just carb restricted. So you can still eat fat calories.
Yeah, sure.
And so that would still work. I mean, so you can eat as much as you want, but you're just going to have it's like phase 1 of our program. That would really make a difference.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're interested in one of those groups, I don't know exactly when we're going to start. Probably in the next week, though, and maybe even sooner. Well, I guess that would still be within a week. But email Leslie at bartonpublishing.com. That's her email address, LESLIE at bartonpublishing.com, and just say, I'm interested, and we will put you on the list and give you details and information. And this is going to be like, we want people that are committed to this. It's for, we're going to be, publishing our findings. We're going to be doing before and after. We also need you to take your blood sugar, which most people on these calls are testing their blood sugar, but you'll need a blood sugar monitor. You're going to be tracking your weight. You're going to be tracking your carbohydrates that you eat, and you're going to be tracking what time you go to bed every night, whether you went to bed on an empty stomach, and also the quality of your sleep afterwards, because we want to make sure you have good sleep as well. So a lot of different things like that. It's going to be put up either on a spreadsheet or a form or something. We haven't figured out all the details yet, but yeah, email Leslie at bartonpublishing.com if you're interested in that. We're going to try to get 100 people, 25 on each of these different programs that are all related to the empty stomach at 10 o'clock. And then we'll be able to have a call together at the end of that and share results, and hopefully it's going to be really insightful. So this is a free program that we're offering. Doesn't cost you anything to join. Just something that we want to do, that we're going to do together as a team, and would love to have other people join us. Any tweaks to that, Dr. Saunders?
I think it's a great idea, because like getting groups together, you can see how the program works compared to other things. Just like, when Sachin Panda did the research on the rats and wanted to find out if taking weekends off still worked, he compared one group to another group. If you just did one, rat compared to another rat, one rat's taking days off. Well, how do you know that rat just doesn't have a different metabolism or something?
Yeah.
You don't. So doing something like this, I think, is going to be much more helpful for looking at the program and saying, wow, those people that stayed on the program had this kind of effect, whereas if they didn't, they had this kind of effect, and you can actually see the difference.
For sure. And so I think speaking of community, I think we're gonna put a Facebook group together. That's probably gonna be the best way. Then we can interact with each other and ask questions, comments, even post our results and, hey, how we're feeling, how we're doing, post numbers, questions, things like that. So also invite your friends or family members. If you know somebody that is looking for help and is committed to doing something like this, we'd love to have you, invite your friends. So what we'll probably do is set up a Facebook group, and then you can invite people to that group from your Facebook page. So we will, Leslie will collect your emails and send out more information on that soon. And so, yeah, that's going to be fun. And we're all going to be, we're going to be in tip top shape for Thanksgiving. So it's going to be Thanksgiving is going to be leaner and meaner selves. We're going to be looking good. So yes, Ernie asked if he says, I'm diabetic. Can this work for me? Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely. And what would you recommend? Probably the phase 1 or phase 2 of the lower carbs group, like 20 grams or maybe 50 grams or less of carbs each day, and also the empty stomach, right?
Yeah, for type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes, either way, it could work with doing a phase 1 program.
Yeah, type 2, he said.
Yeah, type 2. Yeah, so doing a phase 1 program.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Yep. So phase 1, we talk about that in the diabetes solution kit, Ernie. So just get a copy of that. We talk about, the 20 grams of carbs until you get to certain blood sugar numbers. And we've got recipes, we've got grocery list, and all sorts of tips and tricks in there as well. And then Cinechroma is a really good supplement that's Dr. Saunders formulated. This has Cinechroma, or it has cinnamon, bark extract, chromium, vanadium, selenium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2. Really important this time of year. And so, Kevin, did I see that you maybe gave somebody opportunity to still get a discount from last week?
I did. That's
okay.
correct.
I mean, I think we should do this again today to anybody that's watching. If they want to buy any of our supplements, we're going to let you have our retreat special. Is it still the same coupon code?
Yes, it is. And it's good at store.gardenog.com. Actually, if they go from bartonwebinar.com, they can click on any of the supplement images and it'll take them to that store.
Okay, great. So yeah, if you buy those supplements today through the link from bartonwebinar.com, there's a coupon code field that you just enter retreat 50, no spaces, just retreat 50, retreat 50, and you're going to save 50% off. And so if you want to be in the Cinechroma test group, you can stock up on Cinechroma. Dr. Saunders talks about how you can take 1 or 2 of these a day. A lot of people have seen more success as they take 2 versus 1. It depends on each person, but so yeah, the link is on the webinar chat right now, and I can't guarantee that coupon is going to work beyond today. So get that ordered today, and we'll get that sent out to you, delivered to your home in the next few days. So well, this is exciting. I think next week we're probably going to talk more about this, but yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, send Leslie an email if you're interested. We'll get a Facebook group put up as well, and you can invite friends and family to this, and this is gonna be fun. So good stuff. Well, Scott, are you heading to the airport now?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. I'm on my way to California.
Okay.
I got a full day's work ahead of me.
And does Karen get to go with you, or is she driving?
No, she's just taking me to the airport.
Okay. Well, I'll let you guys get a little bit of alone time here before you head out. But this has been great. We're going to wrap up here. Thanks, everybody. We'll answer more questions next Tuesday. So watch your emails for registration or the webinar links coming again. Also, go to our YouTube channel on YouTube, Barton Publishing Webinars. You can find previous episodes that we talked about. We've got several of them. I think we're close to 15 of them now. Hypoglycemia, type 2 diabetes, and all sorts of other things related to reversing diabetes. So we talked, yeah. So go there, subscribe, hit the little bell to be updated anytime we release a new one. And look for another email coming from us about that Facebook group. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Dr. Saunders. Have safe travels back to California.
Okay, thanks.
All right.